Hey, it's Hannah here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I tended an injury on my horse's head using connection training. So the horse in question is an Arab named Khalil. He's a rescue horse. He came to me, he's got a deformed foot and he also had a big bony growth on the side of his face. Wasn't doing him any harm, so we left it there, but then one day he managed to get it caught on something and tore it off in the field. So obviously this left a big gaping wound in his face. Now when the vet came, obviously he was sedated for the initial treatment, but then it was up to me to change his dressings, to clean the wound, redress it, that kind of thing. And this is where reward-based training is so helpful, because it makes this process just so much easier and far less stressful for you and your horse. Okay, so here's the video with Khalil. You can see that when I first went to his bandage, his immediate reaction was to throw his head up, and had I continued that way it would have been quite a fight. So instead I backed off and took it to things that he knew and built it up in a way that he understood and that meant that he was calm and relaxed throughout. So I began just by getting him to target the pair of scissors, and we do a lot of targeting in this video. Because he's quite anxious, like using something like targeting that he knows really well is a really fantastic way of helping them just kind of relax and calm down. And also getting them just to kind of target, the objects that you're using, gets them to kind of interact with you and with them as well, and that can really help to reduce anxiety too. So I began, you'll see obviously I had to touch his face, and I actually began just by seeing if I could put the scissors and my hand up on the side of his face and clicked him for standing still with it. Now if he had at that stage started to throw his head away, I would have really built that up. And you can see in this beginning of this process that I actually do a lot of behaviours one after the other. So we've got targeting the scissors, touching the face. Here I'm getting him used to the snipping and the sound of the scissors, because I was going to have to cut the bandage off, alongside his nose. And all of these stages I moved on through pretty quickly because he was okay. And that's something that's really important to bear in mind when you're working with your horse, and you'll see it throughout this video, that where he needs more repetition and more time to be able to relax in a situation, I stick with it and repeat it, but if he's alright then I very quickly move on. So that's something that's obviously very individual to each situation, and you've just got to be flexible enough to kind of work with your horse with that. So I realised I was going to have to cut the bandage from the front, so I wanted to be standing in front of him. And you can see here, again I'm just asking him to let me take hold of the edge of the bandage on the side of his face. And if you can see, if he starts to move his head away, throw his head up, becomes uncomfortable with the situation, I immediately just remove my hand and don't force it, and then he kind of comes back and lets me know that he's ready for me to do it again. So he's kind of getting to the place where he's presenting his head saying, yes, I'm ready, and at that point I'm going up and doing it. Now there's a little bit, it's not so much here that I'm getting him to target his head to my hand, it's that he's getting his head into position and saying, yes, that's all right, and then I'm putting my hand up and I'm rewarding him for staying still. And obviously going up with the scissors and things as well. So again, there was quite a long space there where he was moving his head away and didn't want me to do it, and I just kind of calmly stuck with it there. If he kind of does that little head toss, just wait until I get a moment of stillness with my hands on the bandage, which is what I'm clicking and reinforcing. Good. So you can see as he gains in confidence and relaxation that it's getting stiller. So from there I just built it up until he was holding his head still and I could cut the bandage off. Now the really important part here was that he was bringing his head to me and holding it still, and that he understood that when he brought his head, I wasn't going to force it, so if he moved his head away I'd back off, but when he brought his head to me, that was him saying, yes, okay, I'm ready, you can cut now. And actually it was that first bit that needed quite a lot of repetition that you've seen. Once he got the idea that it was okay, that he understood how it was working, he was able to hold his head still pretty quickly, and I was able to cut the bandage off easily. And I then used the same process to be able to clean and dress the wound as well. So you can see just how kind of stress-free this was by working in this way with the rewards, with his choice, with Khalil's participation and cooperation, and it meant that it was actually quite an easy and fun job for the two of us, especially because once I'd finished it, then I did lots of other fun stuff as well. So he got to play all his favourite games, which is another really important part of it, that you make the whole process really reinforcing. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and that's given you some ideas for maybe how you can use reward training for your horse. If you want loads of in-depth step-by-step videos, our healthcare procedures course covers lots of different cases and techniques to be able to help with your horse in lots of different situations where they might need some medical care. Thank you for watching.